Okay, now your video is recording, so you can mark your attendance now. Okay, so now we can move to our next topic that we are discussing, the lesson coal and petroleum. So we said that there are natural resources and artificial resources, and natural resources which are mainly classified into two. What is that? What are they? Exhaustible and inexhaustible natural resources. We studied it with the example. Okay, so we studied some exhaustible natural resource like coal and the story of coal. Now we are moving to the next topic, that is about coke. We know that coke is, it is a useful product, or coal is processed in industry to get the products like a coke and coal tar. So we obtain coke and coal tar from the coal. From coal, by using certain process that is in the industry, we obtain what coke and coal tar. So we are moving to coke. It is a tough, porous. Take page number 58 in your textbook and listen. It is a tough, porous and black substance. It is an almost pure form of carbon. So we say that coal mainly contains which element? Coal mainly contains what? Tell me. What element contains in coal? Take page number 57 and read it. The last session, page number 57. As coal contains mainly carbon, the slow process of conversion of dead vegetation into coal is called what? Carbonization. I told you a lot of time, isn't it? So coal mainly contains carbon, and the process of converting the vegetation or dead vegetation into coal, process of converting the dead vegetation into coal, that process is called what? Carbonization. Okay. Don't forget the terms. So it contains, we know that coal contains what?
Carbon.
Yeah, carbon. And the process of converting the dead vegetation into coal is called carbonization. So likewise, coke also contains carbon. That is, coke, it is a pure form of carbon. Underline the text in sentence. What is coke? It is a tough, porous and a black substance, and it is an almost pure form of carbon. Coke is used in the manufacture of steel and in the extraction of many metals. So this is the use of coke, which is used in the for making what? Metals, in order to extract many metals, and also used to make steel. Okay, these are the main uses of coke. And also we studied about the uses of coke. We also study the use of coal. What is that? Coal is used in producing gas, isn't it? For food, to cook food, we use coal to produce gas, and also what? In train engines, isn't it? Used as a fuel in train engine. Then what is the other uses of coal? Tell me. It is used in several industries. Tell me, Faith. Did you underline the textbook sentence in textbook? Then what are the uses of coal?
Coal.
Coal. Did you get it?
No, miss.
Diya. Diya. Diya, are you there? Dia, if you do not turn on your video, please give reply. You can unmute your mic.
Miss,
Yes, Faith.
coal is one of the fuels used to cook food. It was used in railway engines in produce steam to run the engine.
Okay, then other, it is also used in thermal power plant to produce.
It is also used in thermal power plants to provide electricity. Coal is also used as a fuel in various industries.
Okay, okay. So when I take the class, listen the textbook very carefully. Okay, I will ask questions between the class and you should reply. So underline the sentences that I told. Dia, why are you not unmute your mic? Are you there?
Miss, net
Dia, can you please turn on your video?
video on a camera.
Oh, okay, okay. Now, then can you please tell me the uses of coal? Okay, Ijaz, please tell me about coke. What are the main uses of coke?
It is a tough, porous, and black substance. It is an almost pure form of carbon. Coke is used in the manufacture of steel and in the extraction of many metals.
Okay, so Anne Maria, what's the time now? Anne Maria, what's the time now? Why are you late?
Miss, first connecting and Miss.
Okay, Alan, turn on your video. Alan, can you hear me? Okay, so Anne Maria and Alan, now we are discussing about coke. We are going to discuss the next topic, that is coke and coal tar and coal gas. We said that all these are the products that obtained from coal. Okay. So now coal tar. We are moving to coal tar. Coal tar is a black. I think you know coal tar, isn't it? We are used it for the tarring purpose of road. So you are familiar with coal tar, and it is a black thick liquid. You know, it is a thick liquid with an unpleasant smell. Do you like the smell of a tar? No. Do you like? You like? Faith. Oh, okay. It is an unpleasant smell. Isn't it? Irritating smell. That is, it is a thick liquid with unpleasant smell, and it is a mixture of about 200 substance. So how coal tar is prepared? It is a mixture of about 200 substance. Alan, can you hear me now? Alan? No reply. Okay, then products obtained from the coal tar are used as starting material for manufacturing various substances used in everyday life and industry. So the certain products that obtained from the coal tar, we used it for manufacturing certain substances. We use it as a starting material for manufacturing various substances like synthetic dyes, drugs, explosive, perfumes, plastic paints, photographic material, roofing material, etc. So all these are the uses and peculiarities of a coal tar. But it is a black, thick color liquid. It is a black colored and thick liquid with an unpleasant smell. That is one point. And also it contains about 200 substance. It is a mixture of about 200 substance. And also the products obtained from the coal tar is used for the synthesis of different substances like dyes, drugs, explosive, perfumes, plastic, paints, like that. Okay. So all these is the peculiarities of coal tar. And interestingly, naphthalene balls used to repel moth and other insect are also obtained from coal tar. So the naphthalene balls, that is naphthalene balls which is used to repel the moth and other insect. It is a kind of ball, naphthalene ball, which is to attract the moth and insect. That naphthalene ball also obtained from the coal tar. So you can say that coal tar is used for making naphthalene balls also. These days, bitumen, a petroleum product, is used in place of coal tar for melting metal in the roads. So nowadays, is direct coal tar is used? No, not coal tar is directly used for metal in road, but what is used? Bitumen. Underline the word bitumen. These days, bitumen, a petroleum product. So bitumen is a petroleum product and it is used in place of coal tar. Other than coal tar, in place of coal tar, we use bitumen for the metalling of roads nowadays. Okay, that it will be a 1 mark question. So please mark. Then next one is coal gas. Coal gas is also a product of what? Coal. Alan and Shreya, please mark your attendance. Alan, you did not attend yesterday Tuesday's exam, class test of last chapter, 4th lesson. I want the reason why you did not attend that exam. Please unmute your mic. If you have no range, please write the reason in the chat box. Alan, I think you have a network problem. Then you please write the reason in the chat box. Then I can read it. Okay. So the topic that we discussed is coal gas. Next one is coal gas, the product of a coal. Coal gas is obtained during the process of coal to get coke. So what is coal gas? Coal gas which is obtained during the processing of coal. When we know that coal is processed to make the products like coke, coal tar and coal gas. So coal gas is obtained while processing of coal will happen. And it is used as a fuel in many industries situated near the coal processing plants. So coal gas is used in the industries near coal processing plant. Coal processing plant means the plant which is used to produce coal. Okay, so this is the gas that used for the coal processing. That is coal gas. Okay, so these are the main topic. We have studied about natural resources, and natural resources are classified into two. That is inexhaustible natural resource and exhaustible natural resource. We studied the different examples. Inexhaustible means it is unlimited. That is example air, sunlight, like that. Okay, but exhaustible natural resource, which means it is limited, isn't it? Then what are the examples? Like petroleum, coal, all these. And also we studied the exhaustible natural resource such as coal and its story of coal. We study how it is obtained. Then the products which is obtained from coal like coke, coal tar and coal gas. Okay, you understand? Any doubt? Then shall we move to next topic, petroleum? Then look in your textbook, page number 59, petroleum. Please read it. Shreya, please read it.
You know that petrol is used as a fuel in light automobiles such as motorcycles, scooters, and cars. Heavy motor vehicles like trucks and tractors run on diesel. Petrol and diesel are obtained from a natural resource called petroleum. The word petroleum is derived from.
Please stop. What is petroleum? That is, we are discussing petroleum. You know that the petrol is used as a fuel in light automobiles such as motorcycles, scooters, and cars that we know. In light automobiles, we use petroleum as a fuel. Then heavy motor vehicles like trucks and tractors run on diesel. So diesel is used in light motor vehicles like cars also, but mostly it is used in heavy motor vehicles. Then petrol and diesel that are obtained from the natural resource called what? Petroleum. Underline the sentence, that is what is petroleum. The petrol and diesel which is obtained from a natural resource. The natural resource for obtaining petrol and diesel are called what? Petroleum. And the word petroleum which is derived from petra means rock and oleum means oil, as it is mined from between the rocks under the earth as shown in figure 5.4. So from where we get it? By the process of mining under the rocks, mining the rocks under the earth. Okay, petroleum which is obtained from the by mining the rocks under the earth. Okay, read the remaining portion.
Do you know how petroleum is formed? Petroleum was formed from organisms living in the sea. As these organisms died, their bodies settled at the bottom of the sea and got covered with layers of sand and clay.
Okay, then how, from where or how this petroleum is obtained or formed in the soil, or it is how it is formed in the earth? How the petroleum which is formed, underline, it is very important, that is a question. How petroleum is formed? Mark the question also. How petroleum is formed? Petroleum which was formed from the organisms living in the sea. So it is formed from the organism that is living in the sea, and these organisms when died, their bodies settled at the bottom of the sea. And what happened? And this got covered with the layers of sand and clay. Okay. So after when it become died, its bodies are covered with the layers of sand and clay and form a thick like a rocky structure called rocky structure, and from this the petrol is obtained. That over million of read it, remaining portion.
Over millions of years, absence of air, high temperature and high pressure transformed the dead organisms into petroleum and natural gas.
Okay, so we said that during the process of formation of coal, what will happen? The vegetation, dead vegetations are converted into coal by the process called carbonization. We said that. And while studying the story of coal, we said that the dead vegetations are gone deeper into the soil. Then what happened? As the temperature and the pressure increases, it will be formed as a coal, isn't it? So likewise, when it is high, when after many years or in the absence of air, what will happen? In the absence of air, high temperature and high pressure that transform the dead organism into what? Petroleum and natural gas. So due to pressure, due to high pressure and temperature, this dead matter will transformed into petroleum or natural gas. Coal is likewise also transformed. The high pressure and temperature will transform the dead vegetations into what? Coal. Okay. Okay. Then read the remaining one. And Maria.
Look at figure 5.4. It shows the deposits of petroleum and natural gas. You see that the layer containing petroleum, oil, and gas is above that of water. Why is it so? Recall that oil and gas are lighter than water and do not mix with it.
Okay. So in the figure 5.4, we can see that the petroleum and natural gas deposits. Here you can see the reservoir rock, some water, oil, and gas are present about that, and impervious rock and wells. So from this reservoir rock, we obtain this petroleum, and it shows the deposit of petroleum and natural gas. Then you see that the layer obtaining petroleum, oil, and gas is above that of water, isn't it? So water above that oil and gas. So we obtain it from it is above the layer of water. And why is it so? Why it is above the layer of water? Because that the oil and gas which are lighter than water and do not mix with it. We know that when we pour some amount of water, some oil in water, does it mix with water? No, it form a small or thin layer above the surface of water, isn't it? So it cannot mix with water because it is lighter than water and do not mix with it. That is the reason why this oil and gas are above the layer of water. Okay, the words first oil well. Read it, Anne-Maria.
Miss, that box.
Yes, that box. The world's first oil well.
The world's first oil well was drilled in Pennsylvania, USA in 1859.
Okay, that is a GK. You can mark it. The world's first oil well, which is in Pennsylvania at USA in 1859. Okay.
8 years later, in 1867, oil was struck at Makam in Assam. In India, oil is found in Assam, Gujarat, Mumbai High, and in the river basins of Godavari and Krishna.
Okay. So in our India, from where we get this oil, it is mostly found in Assam, Gujarat, Mumbai High, and river basins of Godavari and Krishna. And the first oil well that was drilled in Pennsylvania, USA in 1859. All these are the GKs. Okay. Then next one is refining of petroleum. So we say that there is a reservoir rock that present under the earth, which is formed as a result of the dead living matter, dead sea organisms. Okay. And from this, we refine the petroleum or we refine the oil. How this refining happen or how this refining take place? So refining of petroleum. Ijaz, read it.
Refining of petroleum. Petroleum is a dark, oily liquid. It has an unpleasant odor. It is a mixture of various constituents such as petroleum, gas, petrol, diesel, lubricating oil,
Paraffin wax, etc. So here,
etc.
in this sentence, it is explained about petroleum. What are the peculiarities of a petroleum? So it is a dark oily liquid. We know that it is a dark oily liquid and has unpleasant odor. Faith, do you like the smell of this also? No. Then how you like the smell of a coal tar? Okay. So it also has an unpleasant odor, isn't it? Petroleum, it is a dark oily liquid and it has unpleasant odor. And it contains of a certain mixture of some other constituents. What are they? The mixture of petroleum gas, petrol, diesel, lubricant oil, paraffin wax, etc. Certain other mixtures are also there. And the process of separating the various constituents or fractions of petroleum is known as refining. So what do you mean by refining? Here you can see a petroleum refinery. Page number 60. Did you see that figure? Petroleum refinery. So what do you mean by refining? Refining means it is the process of separating various constituents or fractions of petroleum, that is known as refining. We say that there are certain constituents present in petroleum, isn't it? So in order to separate these constituents or these fragments, that process is called what? Refining. Certain refining industries are there to refine all these constituents. Okay. And it is carried out in a petroleum refinery. So where this refining take place? It is carried out in petroleum refineries. Various constituents of petroleum are their uses are given in table 5.1. What are they? Various constituents of petroleum and their uses. Faith, please read that column. Different various constituents of petroleum. We say that petroleum gas is a constituent of petroleum and there will be petrol, kerosene, diesel, lubricant oil, paraffin wax, bitumen. Okay, read the uses of each. Faith, we can't hear. Your headset is not properly working. Please connect it again.
Miss, now here,
Okay.
petroleum gases in liquid form. Fuel from for
What is
home
meant by
and
LPG? What is the full form of LPG?
li- petroleum gas in liquid form.
Yeah, liquefied petroleum gas. That is LPG, liquefied petroleum gas. Okay. And what is its use?
Fuel for home and industry.
Okay. In our home,
Petrol.
what type of cylinders, gas cylinders are used? LPG cylinders, isn't it? So it is a constant from what? Petroleum. Okay. Okay. Then next one.
Petrol. Motor oil. Avi.
Aviation fuel. Aviation fuel means what? Tell me, Ijaz, you know. Aviation fuels? Fuel for like aeroplanes and helicopters like that. Aviation vehicles. Okay. Then solvent for?
Solvent for dry cleaning. Solvent.
Okay. Then
Kerosene. Fuel for stoves.
fuel for
Lamp.
stoves. In stove, we use kerosene, isn't it? It is for also used for the burning purpose, used as a fuel for making food. And lamps.
Lamps and
And
for jet aircrafts.
yeah, jet
These
aircraft.
fuel for heavy motor vehicles. Electricity generation.
Electric generators.
Generators. Lubricating
Lubricating oil.
lubrication.
Paraffin wax is used for making
Ointment,
ointments.
candle, Vaseline,
Yeah,
etc.
candles and Vaseline. You can see it is a wax. Then next one.
Bitumen, paints, road surfacing.
So we told that in page number 58 there is a column that is nowadays bitumen, a petroleum product which is used in place of coal tar for metalling the roads. So bitumen which is used for road surfacing. Okay. Then the column, please, that column page number 60. Many useful substances that are obtained from petroleum and natural gas. Ijaz, read it.
Many useful substances are obtained from petroleum and natural gas. These are termed as petrochemicals.
Okay, underline the
are used-
sentence. What are petrochemicals? The useful substance. These are the useful substance that obtained from the petroleum and natural gas, which are termed as petrochemicals. Okay. What
These
is
are
its
used
use?
in the manufacture of detergents, fibers, polyester, nylon, acrylic, etc., polythene, and other
Did you
man-made
remember the term
plastics.
polyester, nylon, acrylic? In which chapter we studied this?
Synthetic fibers.
Yeah, synthetic fibers and plastic. We studied about the polymers, and these petrochemicals are also there. Isn't it? I asked that question in the periodic examination. Do you remember? Yes. Okay. So petrochemicals that are obtained from the petroleum and natural gas, and it is used for manufacturing of detergents, fibers like polyester, nylon, acrylic, and also polythene and other man-made plastics. Okay. Then next sentence.
Hydrogen gas obtained from natural gas is used in the production of fertilizers, urea. Due to its great commercial importance, petroleum is also called black gold.
Okay. The other name of petroleum is what? Black gold.
Black gold.
So it is maybe asked in match the following or fill in the blank question. So underline that also. Okay. Then now we can watch a video about this topic.
गूगल पे फ्रॉड अलर्ट किसी भी अनजान पेमेंट से पहले सावधान करता है। मानो कोई अपना कह रहा हो, सावधानी हटी तो दुर्घटना घटी। गूगल अपने हर प्रोडक्ट को बनाता है आपके अपनों जैसा सतर्क, ताकि आप रहें सेफर विद गूगल।
And man-made resources.
So this is a brief summary of the topic that we discussed. Please listen.
In a surrounding, we find different things. Things we obtain from nature are called natural resources, such as sunlight, air, water, forest, and fossil fuels, which are obtained from Earth's crust. Fossil fuels are produced by decomposition of dead plants and animal parts buried deep in Earth's crust. This process takes thousands of years. Such fuels are coal, petroleum, and natural gas. On the other hand, things which are made by man with the help of machines and technology are man-made resources. Railways, bridges, dams, buildings, satellites are all man-made resources.
So all these are the examples for artificial or man-made resources like railways, bridges, buildings, and satellites. Natural resources are air, water, fossil fuels, sunlight, like that. Okay.
Dear students, based on availability, natural resources are classified into two groups: inexhaustible natural resources and exhaustible natural resources.
So we are discussing about coal, and it is an exhaust, it is a natural, we say that fossil fuels which are natural resources, and from this we get coal, coke, like that, and it is an exhaustible natural resource, isn't it? What do you mean by exhaustible? It is present in limited amount. Okay. And inexhaustible natural resource like air and sunlight, which is unlimited.
The resources which exist in unlimited quantity in nature and does not exhaust because of human activities are called inexhaustible natural resources. For example, sunlight, air, water, etc. On the other hand, there are various resources which are limited in nature and are likely to exhaust in near future due to human activities. These are called exhaustible natural resources. For example, forest, fossil fuels such as coal, petroleum, natural gas, wildlife, minerals, etc. Suppose a jar full of chocolates is kept on a table. First 5 students are allowed to take chocolates. They took as many as they can.
This is the activity that given at the beginning of this lesson, activity 5.2. Do you remember that? I said about this activity. Dividing students into different groups and consider them as the consumers. Okay.
Then in the second round, 10 students are allowed to take chocolates. They also consume as many as they can. Now, there are many students left in the class. However, if we look into the jar, it is very difficult to get a single chocolate to each of the remaining. Same follows for exhaustible resources. If current and subsequent generations use much of these resources in near future, there is possibility that these resources may not be available for a future generation.
What happen if we use excess of these resources the next generation will not get those resources. Clear? Like that activity. That activity shows which gives the observation like this. Okay.
So effective management and use of these resources is necessary. I hope you have understood this topic very well.
Okay. So I think you understood what are natural and artificial resources and its classification, and about the exhaustible products and its uses. Okay. So I was before in the next class itself, I think this topic will be over, this lesson will be over, and in the next class we can discuss the exercise also. Those who didn't complete your previous lesson notes, please complete it and send me today itself. Okay. How many of you complete? Did you all finish the notebook? Fourth lesson. Materials, metals and non-metals. Did you write the exercises in your notebook? Ijaz, Shreya and Maria, did you write it? Ijaz, did you write? Did you write? No. Nothing. Or an exercise only.
Give reasons.
Give reasons. So today itself you should write that and send me. Okay. Send me the complete photo of that chapter. Fourth lesson. Materials, metals and non-metals. Okay. Shreya, you also. And Anne-Maria also. Okay. Now you can leave from the meeting. We can see in the next class at 4 o'clock. Bye. Thank you.